And then we came up to Calcutta to stay for a month or so. And one man came from Mahesh Pandit's Samadhi, and he was a pujari there, like the Saivite, and he wanted Srila Prabhupada to come and do a program there. We knew it was going to be very small, you know, what we would kind of consider a rinky-dink little affair, you know. We knew it. And but Prabhupada immediately agreed to the man's request. He had come during the massage and spoke in Bengali. So Prabhupada agreed, and then he went away. But I couldn't speak Bengali, but I knew what was going on. So then I was kind of unhappy because I knew how weak Prabhupada was by that time. And in fact, when we first arrived in Mayapur, one morning on the balcony after breakfast, Prabhupada was looking out over the fields, and then he turned to me and he said, "Never in my life have I felt as weak as I do now." But then he added, he said, "But still I would like to finish this Bhagavatam." And I had seen evidences of Prabhupada's decrease in general health and fitness. Several times I had had to literally pick him up when he had collapsed on staircases. So anyway, you know, I was just very concerned. So when this man came, I really didn't want Prabhupada to go. And so I asked him, you know, kind of a little complainingly, I guess, you know, "Srila Prabhupada, why do you have to go?" He said, no, he's asked, I must go. He said, "It's preaching." So I said, "But Prabhupada, there's so many sannyasis here, they can all do the program." He said, "No, he wants me to go, I must go." So, you know, because I was a bit upset by it, then Prabhupada said, just like, you know, that story in the Krishna book about Pradyumna, he was injured on the battlefield, and so when he was taken, then immediately he went back to fight, even though he was injured. So he said that was his duty. So then I said, "But Srila Prabhupada, it was his charioteer's duty to take him off the battlefield when he was sick." So then Prabhupada said, "Yes, and it was his duty to immediately return and fight." So he defeated me, you know. So that was, you know, again, it was his determination, and we did do that program. Prabhupada just simply wanted to encourage the man, and we went and we did that program. And I remember that it was, you know, there was like a pandal, a stage, and there was some really rickety steps, about 4 or 5 steps leading up to the stage. So when Prabhupada approached that to go up, he didn't ask for help or anything, and he immediately, you know, started stepping up one by one. And by that time I was already aware of how weak he was, so I was standing on the step below him. As he went up one step, I went up one step, and I had my hands out like this, just in case anything happened. And Prabhupada was actually pushing himself up the steps with his cane. He had so little strength in his legs, so he put one foot up, and then to get the other one up, he would actually push himself up with his cane. So when he got to the second to top step, he was straining like anything, and then all of a sudden, his strength went, and he just collapsed. But I was right behind him, stood on the lower step, and I just caught him, and I just, you know, had to literally carry him up to the top and put him on the stage. And I put him up there, and Prabhupada just, you know, walked over to his seat and sat down like nothing had happened. So, you know, Prabhupada literally sacrificed his life for us. There's no question of it. I saw it. He just wore his body out. If Prabhupada, you know, if there was a cause for Prabhupada's disappearance, you know, like a cause of death, the Kamis are always fond of identifying the cause of death. You could just say that Prabhupada wore his body out in the service of mankind. That was the cause of